So my name is Reg Lewis, and I simply wish to share with you some excerpts from my book, The Attention Wars, aka How Reality Crosses the Mind, introducing the crawl space featuring Mr. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to this work. Some of you may be able to relate.
Yes.
The job was about to break me. All I was trying to do was calm the class down enough so I could deliver that week's vocabulary quiz. That's all. But no. Capital N-O-P-E. Please let me explain. Now at that part, this is just excerpts. It's from this book here, okay, called The Attention Wars. All of us struggle with this war every single day. And if you don't, please come out and counsel me, because I want to know what your secret is. But I will continue. So after that point, and this point, it's about a 2-hour performance, maybe an hour and a half. So I'm going to do the next section. At that point, I introduce you to a classroom of students that I think would turn anyone inside out, crazy, upside down, and it just changes the way you feel about everything. So they were trying to kill me. And the only thing I will say is this. I believe from experience that whenever you take 12 to 34 children or teenagers and you put them in a room with an educator, their immediate subconscious goal is to learn, how do I destroy the central nervous system of this adult? So here's the next section that I'd like to share with you.
Teachers in the house.
The next section. Okay. Let me just see what the next section is. These young pupils of mine were actually audacious enough to be performing an autopsy on me center stage just propped up. That's right, me, dead in the middle. And it didn't seem to matter to them that I had regained consciousness, looking at them flush in the face with live and direct eye contact. Or should I perhaps more accurately say, surgical strikes. Because that's how they continue to operate, especially on the residuals of my Bell's palsy, where they poked and prodded and picked, dissected me with names like Cyclops,
Oh no.
Little Eye Lewis, the lopsided one, Blinky, and of course Popeye with a side of chapped bottom lip. No, they just wouldn't quit. And yes, I'll be the first one to admit sometimes I'm dehydrated in the mouth. There's my water. Sure, but still, they didn't have to saturate me. They kept pouring it on until it converted to rocket fuel. Filled me by the gallons, the gall it took to spark jump a teacher, pissed me off anew. As if launched by a pilot light, I simultaneously began to cook with those tiny little blues and fly off the emotional handle from under the lid of a humongous pot as an evil, toxic mix of emotion and metaphors that didn't agree with my stomach began to boil over and take a left turn for the worse. As this flammable nausea in my belly quickly began to rise to my body like the gravity of depression reversed. So instead of spiraling down, it spun upwards, gradually transformulating until it gurgled toward my throat. I'll never survive was the first phrase I recognized my fatal odds that this would be the dead ending of my career as I approached that kamikaze conclusion, for I knew I was about to coat the entire room with a straight jacket discharge that would deeply disturb the atmosphere, hurling all kinds of spit-based debris behind the insane boom with the ensuing mushroom cloud of smoke, certain to alert the firing squad to ensure that I would effectively join every teacher, test it to the limit, take it out their misery. My dearly departed peers, I'm coming to join you. I could feel it. My termination was near. My last stand, the grand finale, for the span of my adult life, literally flashed before my ears. As the language finally came to pass, I could hear myself rumbling and grumbling as I cursed, mumbling spiteful blasphemy beneath my breath before God and the damn burst like, I swear I hate every mother And it should be boom, but not quite. Why? Because at that atomic moment, when the most catastrophic, the most volcanic vocal cord surge in the verbal form of shut the love up that had ever erupted, that had ever exploded from the mouth of a public school teacher was supposed to blast off, something else peculiar took its place. because as the SH part of the phrase commenced to push through the friction of my clenched teeth, right before the the could formally escape, the opening sound remained caught in the groove, extending itself, and it slid into a long, loud shh. So I was perplexed, but now I gotta send you to the next part, because after a while I meet this person named Shepherd. His name was short for shh. And he was actually on the number 5 train, in a white robe, would you believe? And this is how our interaction happened, and how he led me to this. He said, listen, Lewis, I am here for one purpose, and for one purpose only. And that is to convince you that you must begin incorporating the shh into your life immediately, if you ever wish, if you ever want, expect, or even hope to experience any measure of mental peace or quiet in a world simply overrun with too much talk and more talk. Just too many voices, continuous, non-stop. Voices overlapping, colliding, clashing, crisscrossing. Just too much talking, can't stop it, it's everywhere. Chatter, chatter, talk, chatter, regardless of issue or topic. Be it well composed, eloquent, compulsive and or neurotic, whispered and or shouted. The confessions, the complaints, the circular debates, recent studies, statistics, the analytics, the gossip, the bully banter, the $1 million speech, 2 cents, small talk, snap judgments, the punchline or the entire bit, the non sequiturs, the lectures, regardless of tone or intent, doesn't matter, trapped, you hear, in this verbal traffic, in content, concepts, inconsistent information, consistently insecure, with your contradictions, your conspiracies, your confidence, man. We're talking so much insecurity. See, but the crazy thing, this shepherd then said to me, the crazy thing is, most of these excessive voices take place where? They take place within the confines of our own swollen heads. That's where most of these voices reside, right? And we have some very, very noisy heads indeed. As most of you very well know, do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
So ultimately, what am I saying? I am saying that we have been using the shh all wrong. We've been using it to silence others when we should be using it to silence ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, ourselves. See, this is what I've learned. This is what Shepherd said. In this location, I now have the pleasure of calling my home. I now reside in a place known as the crawl space. An elusive but accessible reality here on Earth, in that slender vertical zone that stands in between the past and the future, and the present, not the present moment that we think we, where's it? How much wine did I have actually? Give me a little bit. Wait, here we go.
No, you can bring back. Roll back.
Roll back. I now reside in a place known as the crawl space, an elusive but accessible reality here on Earth, in that slender vertical zone that perpetually, patiently slides along in between the past and the future, not to be mistaken for the present moment that we believe, that we think we occupy, as we are more often than not deceived, betrayed by our overstimulated, horizontal minds that equally tend to send us on back and forth hopscotch marathons upon our personal history timelines. Whether we go 5 weeks ago, to 6 days from now, to 8 years ago, oh wow, hello, to 10 minutes from now, to back a little less, to forth a lot more, to back far as we can remember, to 2, 3, or the old square age of 4. Blocking the present moment is customarily lost, obscured, and seldom found by those same overwhelming minds that equally tend to overcomplicate everything or simply oversimplify. So, along with this shh, it is also my purpose to introduce you to a relationship and awareness of space and time that will cause you to reconnect to the power of life in such a way it will make every day most electric and magical. Why? Because the world you engage from this renewed perspective will radiate with miracle and perfection. Yes, it does. Okay. But how do you get to perfection? Because you will learn how to worship stillness, silence, and space as much as you currently worship objects that sound in motion, especially speed, more or less. We're talking about the most critical perception management. So ultimately, this and that is what I am here to teach. So now, without further ado, everyone in this room, please join me all together now at the count of 3, 2, 1. And I most humbly thank you.
All right, Reg Lewis.